I was committing to my daily routine as usual, where I boot up Minecraft, think of things to make videos on, and then beat my head into a brick wall for 5 hours. Just long enough that the brain damage creates hallucinations of fun video ideas. This time I had the fantastic idea to try and create redstone machines without using any redstone. You can thank my busted pineal gland for this one. Here is the deal. There are about 40 different components that are regularly used in redstone machines. Obviously you have your repeaters, your comparators, your differators, your quantum superposition cyclonators, simple stuff. But then there are the more rarely used, more niche parts, such as jukeboxes, that actually give off different redstone signal strengths depending on what's being played.
I wear a mask with a smile for...
Yeah, no thanks. Well, to do this challenge, we needed a set of rules, and I decided that the rules would be as so. I cannot use any redstone dust, any component with redstone in the name, or any components that are crafted from redstone in any way. So this rules out things like pistons. After all of that, this is what we're left with. Yeah, it's not a lot. So I had to try and think of how I can actually start making redstone machinery with what I've got laid out in front of me. Now my initial thoughts is things like TNT, amethyst, bells and jukeboxes aren't going to be that useful. And being that I don't have access to pistons as they require redstone to craft, I'm pretty limited in my options on how I can actually affect the world around me. Pretty much I can move minecarts, hit armor stands, or open and close trapdoors. Hell, I can't even really move minecarts as I don't have access to powered rails. So you know what? That's gone too. My resources are really getting limited. So how can we use water? Well, the answer's pretty simple. Using armor stands. Look at that. We now can move an armor stand at a flick of a lever. But of course the issue with the system is once the armor stand is moved, you can't move it back. Or can you? Turns out you can, using this, which I call the armor stand switch, and is the most basic building block of Waterstone, which we'll get into more complex machines over there. But first, we need to understand how this works. We have 2 water source blocks either end and an armor stand in the middle, which evens it out between these 2 blocks. Now just for reference, the redstone lamp does require redstone to make, but it is not essential to the workings of this machine, so it is just here as a visual indicator to show how this works. As the armor stand is pushed into an equilibrium between these 2 water sources, it is still on the pressure plate and thus powering the lamp. However, if we were to place a pressure plate right here, this would cut off this water supply, pushing it off the pressure plate and sucking it towards us, thus turning off the lamp. But computers aren't entirely made out of just NOT gates. You need AND gates, OR gates, XOR gates, and NOR gates. So I did what any reasonable person would do and complete the logic gate set. We have our AND gate, our NOT gate, our NOR gate, our OR gate, and our XOR gate, but we'll get to that later. First up we have our AND gate, which is made from 2 NOT gates, which are then NORed with each other to produce an output, which is just an AND signal. But for the OR gate, I actually did something differently. I expanded the water so that this signal is reversed. The armor stand is now in equilibrium on the off spot, meaning when I power either of these pressure plates, it gets sucked towards the on signal, thus creating an OR gate. Now that we have all the basic components, we can make the next one, which is an XOR gate. And this one is a bit bigger. While this may look initially confusing, if I show the circuit diagram on screen, you can see that it is simply just these components built on top of each other to produce this output. And look, it looks a mess, and that's because it is. Now that we have our 5 basic logic gates, you might reasonably be asking me, Gerg, what the hell can we even make with these? All you've talked about is on and off signals, and quite frankly, I'm just getting kind of bored. Well, unfortunately, it's more of the same. Well, because I don't have access to pistons or any fun redstone parts, all I can really do is continue making logic circuits. But you know what is made out of logic circuits? Computers. Which means, really, the only thing I can make without redstone is a redstone computer. And, well, I tried my best. A fundamental basic building component in computers is what is known as the full adder circuit. What this is it takes binary numbers and adds them together. And this is what this circuit does right here. This is just one component of it, and then it leads into that there, but we won't look at that, partly because it likes my game and partly because it's very scary and looks like a skeleton. We have input A here and we have input B. Now if you know how binary works, you'll know that if you add 2 bits together, it goes on to the next bit. So 0, 1 plus 0, 1 will equal 1, 0. As a 1 plus 1 overflows, it means that this light is turned off, which it just has. But it means that we need a carry signal to the next bit, and this is what this yellow light means over here. So our final output is 1, 0. Come on, 1, 0. Now this circuit is one of a large machine. If we stack this on top of each other 8 times, we get this behemoth. Now that calculation we just did in MS Paint is exactly what this machine does, just not using any redstone and instead using the most convoluted, unholy way of doing mathematics in Minecraft using water and armor stands. So as soon as I place this armor stand on here, the calculation is put in and the machine will start chugging away. Yes, armor stands are moving, it's calculating, and then this thing will slowly move down across this 100-meter behemoth. The machine is done calculating. And the output is actually given on these outside redstone lamps here. So we'll read the lamps and our output sum of 50 plus 105 is 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, which is the exact number from our earlier calculation. So this dumb, massive, slow, silly machine using nothing but armor stands, water trapdoors and pressure plates absolutely works and can calculate binary addition. Now this machine may not seem very useful, and well, that's because it's not. But it acts as a proof of concept basic building block to larger redstone components. If we can make a full adder, it also means we can make a computer register. If we can make a computer register, we can make a full arithmetic logic unit. If we can make an arithmetic logic unit, we can make a CPU. And if we can make a CPU, we can make a computer out of nothing but water and armor stands. No redstone involved. This is insanity!